I'll never forget this. Looking at like the photo I just took, I hear a loud bang. That was a gunshot. And then like I look up and I just see panic. And then I just like look to my left, Charlie's down. This felt personal. So yeah, this is like the first time
speaking about this
to the public. Like my friends, family know, obviously like coworkers, which that's also a pretty crazy story too. Like, so, cause I deal with like lieutenants and they were locked into the story and they had no idea that I was,
feet away.
Well, yeah. Cause I went to Utah. It was just a day trip.
Yeah.
Cause I, have a full-time job. And so only my boss knew about it. And so I come back Wednesday night and show up to work the next day because I wanted to work. I was like, I'm not going to stay home. I want to work. So, yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Andrew.
How's it going?
It's going, man. Thank you for reaching out first off.
Yeah.
This is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a deep one. I want to keep it as respectful as possible for you, for Charlie Kirk's family and everybody he's associated with. But you were a camera guy that was hired by Charlie company, by Turning Point.
Turning Point USA.
By Turning Point. And you were standing feet away when everybody saw the shot seen around the world.
Yeah.
And you reached out. I don't know why.
It was like a no-brainer for me. I don't know why, because like I told you early off camera, like ABC reached out to me that day, and it just seemed a little off. And I also wanted to process it, and like today's been a week since it's happened.
Yeah.
And so
I'm sure you have a lot to process still.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, dude, we're just going to have this conversation.
Sounds good.
So let's just jump in who you are, where you're from.
Yep. So my name's Andrew Feraci. I am born and raised in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, native.
Okay. I heard that's rare nowadays.
It is.
But, yeah, I got a huge passion for videography and photography at a young age. My dad was one of those parents that always had his camera out for like holidays, birthdays, sporting events, you name it. And I was just so intrigued by a camera.
Yeah.
So then you get to high school and I got my own camera, or at least borrowed it from my mom. And my friends and I thought, let's make some of our own videos. And we thought they were hilarious, but they were awful. But it gave me the ability to like dive in and kind of understand what the process of making a video is and the whole thing. And I was like, okay, this is so sick.
Yeah.
And then I think it was, I don't know, my freshman year in college. I was at Calvary Chapel, Boise, and I heard a sermon where like he was saying like God gave you unique gifts to not just glorify him, but other people. And that was like, well, because I'm trying to figure out life, and I'm like, well, what are my gifts? And so that's when I started to take videography a lot more seriously, and just started practicing and honing that craft, and started doing projects for people for free because I was like, that's the best way to practice, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, just over time, getting better and better, and just grew this huge, deep passion for photography. So,
good for you. Yeah. I mean, it's led you down some pretty crazy roads.
Crazy roads, awesome roads too. I've got I don't know if you know ClickFunnels, but like Russell Brunson. So I was his personal photographer for a few years.
Damn. So you've been around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good for you. I love photography and I love young people that are trying to get into it because it is such an incredible field that will take you so many crazy places.
Yes.
Just from us hiring camera, I bring guys with me on adventures and shit, and they're just like,
yeah,
I'm getting paid for this. Like, this is the craziest shit of my life, So it's an awesome career. It's tough, very saturated, but if you do it right, doing it for free, getting your name out there, building it, it's an incredible career to be able to
absolutely. There's
jump
nothing
into.
like it. I feel like, with every photo that you take, any video, like there's a story to be told, and everybody has a story, and I want to do that for them.
Yep.
Whether it's just like senior photos or a wedding or an event, like every person has this unique story, and it's just like I want to be a part of that and let them have that memory forever. So
100%. I love that.
yeah.
Okay, dude. Let's dive into it. Walk me through the day. You were obviously, it's a crazy event. I don't even know if you've processed it all yet, because I think today's the 1 week mark from Charlie Kirk being shot. You got hired by Turning Point USA to go down and photograph this event, which you were standing feet away from Charlie when the shot rang out. So let's just dive into it, and because there's so many conspiracies, there's so many different angles, and everybody knows what's going on. And I know you don't even know what's going on because you're just in the audience doing your job, and obviously everything unfolded and just pure chaos erupted in those situations, which I would imagine it's a terrifying moment to be in there, especially in that environment of it. Almost was like a kill box in a way. I mean, if they wanted it to be way worse, it could have. So walk me just through that day. I mean, let's start in the very beginning. How did Turning Point reach out, and just so the audience knows and people kind of have or clear, you know, they can clarify and who you are, where you've been, why were you down there?
Yeah, well, you know, I claim to not be very political.
Yep.
I just have always been that way. I do obviously lean a lot more conservatively if I had to choose.
For sure.
But I saw Charlie do his thing years ago. And like, if you hear him talk, he'll call it a spade. You know, if Trump doesn't do something he's very vocal about it. So I've always loved his view of things. Obviously him being a believer was another huge factor for me to just like, okay, who is this guy?
Yep.
But he was also incredibly smart. He's just very eloquent with his words. And he wanted people to have a voice. It wasn't just about him. It wasn't about the conservatives. He's like, if you have a voice, you should be able to speak and speak without fear.
100%.
And so, I was doing some contract work, trying to find like a good, steady job. And I reached out to Turning Point USA over Instagram, and I actually didn't hear anything. But I found out later that one of my friends actually is an event coordinator or event specialist for them. And I ran into her out in the public, and we caught up, and I was like, wait, like you work for Turning Point? She's like, yeah. And so I was like, if you guys ever need a cameraman, like let me know. I'd love to help out with an event for free. Like I just was like, I just want to be there.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, if we need anything, we'll reach out to you. And so a few months later, she contacted me. I don't even think it was a few months later. I think it was like a month, maybe, if that. And she was like, hey, yeah, so this fall we're doing a huge tour and we need you. And we just want to do an interview with you to see what you're about and stuff like that. And so, I got the interview. It went really well. And right after that, they're like, yep, you got it. So,
okay.
I was excited, nervous, especially with a full-time job. I was like, I wonder how this is going to play out. But, you know, my full-time job has been super accommodating. Just, go for it. And,
really? Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. But, so they gave me, I couldn't make every event. So I was going to be obviously for Utah. Then I was going to be at Eugene, Oregon, and then San Francisco, which I think it was Cal Berkeley. And honestly, I was thinking, oh, Utah Valley is going to be a piece of cake. Like, it's just going to be a bunch of conservative, like-minded people at this event. Like, it's going to be pretty easy in my opinion. But then I was like, Eugene's going to be pretty crazy, and San Francisco, that might get a little wild. But yeah, so do you want me to just continue to talk about like?
Yeah, bro. Just walk us through the day.
Yeah. So
I'll ask questions when you're talking. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I can be really long-winded, so I want to make sure I give you time to ask questions too. So
for sure.
So we went to Utah Valley University. I think around like 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m.
This is the morning of.
The morning of,
okay.
Yeah. Just to start setting up, and it allowed me to kind of scope out areas that I think could be really good places to do photos. I don't want to say shoot, but to do photos.
Yeah.
And so, saw where they were setting up. The volunteers, they were setting up tent up above, and like honestly, right around 9:30, like a ton of people just started showing up, and it didn't start until 12.
Really?
Yeah. And so just from that, I was like, man, this is gonna be a packed house. And so, my job was just to get photos of people interacting and just getting the environment, what that looked like. And the protesters were already there. And I decided to like go up to them. This was probably around like 10:30 or so.
Okay.
And there wasn't a ton of them, but there was a good line of them. And so they see me walking up with a camera, and I'm sure they're thinking, oh, like, great, this is a guy that's going to try and do like a gotcha moment with his camera. But I honestly just went up to them and I was just like, hey guys, like, how's it going? You guys need anything? Like, you know, because it's going to be a hot day. So I hope you guys have water. I'm hoping you guys just brought stuff to be ready for the day. And they just kind of gave me this look like, why are you being nice to me? And it just kind of like made me realize like, oh, they need love. Like I want them to know that they're welcome here. And so sure. I didn't talk about the event. I just like, where are you guys from? And just wanted to get to know them. And they were extremely nice. Just really, really passionate college students that were passionate about what they believed in, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and the total environment, man, it was awesome.
That's one of my questions. How was the environment that day? I mean, this is Charlie Kirk's first tour back on. Yeah. This is his first stop of his new tour. So environment, how's it feel for you?
Well, so like watching his videos on social media, I don't think you get like the scope of how big some of these things are.
No.
Especially like the more recent stuff, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, because if you watch his earlier videos, it's like just a few people and like asking him questions. But this was like, I mean, it could have been filled probably like half a basketball stadium. Like it was packed. And to see young college students be so passionate about what they believed in America. And I was just like, it gave me a little bit of chills. I'm not going to lie. But it gave me also like a sense of purpose of like, there's a lot of things going on in this world that it's a lot bigger than me. And I just want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think everybody had that feeling. And I think that's, you know, every volunteer for Turning Point USA, they felt like a calling to be there and to serve, Turning Point, because I think in doing so, their mindset's like, I'm also serving the United States as well. And so it was just really cool to see, youth, be so passionate about America and what they believed in. So it was electric, man.
Well, Charlie did an incredible job of that.
Yeah.
He was the biggest advocate for Trump for this next generation. And I give him the majority of the credit for Trump even winning the election because of the millions of young Americans. And when I say young, I mean, dude, my 11-year-old knows who Charlie Kirk is, right? Like they had a youth day. I think it was like the next day or the day after. And I mean, there's little kids talking about it there. So this guy left an impact. And so from all ages, but the fact that he was able to connect with this young generation, talk to them, give them a voice and the ability to ask questions, nobody did it better. Yep. And I feel that was a huge turning point for the election, was this college, because we all know how college is. I mean, the indoctrination and how these kids are coming in and leaving, it's a crazy thing. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he was able to bring so many people to light, so many people to faith, and at least start questioning things. Yeah. That's what I loved the most about him. He would hit you with certain things and you're like, it would make you think. So that's where I was a huge supporter of what he was doing by going to camps. A lot of people hated it. Oh, he's just trying to pick on the youth and whatever excuses they would use. But it's like, if we can't have these open dialogues of conversation, the most basic form of human interaction, we can't have these conversations, then we have nothing.
And if I can touch on that too, because a lot of people would like, oh yeah, why doesn't he debate, someone his own age? Just so you know, there was a lot of adults there too at these events. But also, why not educate the youth? Why not challenge?
The future.
Exactly. And that's what college is for. That's what college was meant for. It wasn't trying to indoctrinate anything. It was just to make you think and learn how to think. Not think a certain way, but just learn how to think, right?
That's it. That's the key statement in that, is to learn how to think instead of just being fed, remembering and then regurgitating it. It's like, okay, well, if you're coming at me because you believe in this, what about X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And then there were so many things that I, not strong beliefs on, but I would hear him talk about, I'd be like, oh shit. Okay. I see this angle now. So
Yeah.
100%, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And so, and again, like he gave, you know, it was an open mic for the most part. They would have people line up and they would be like, hey, what are you going to like ask about? Because they obviously don't want the same question over and over again. Right. So, but for the most part, it's open dialogue. Okay. And he gives you the opportunity to really, like, I think the tour was called the American Comeback Tour, but it was like, it proved me wrong. And so you, like, as the questioner, had to try to prove Charlie wrong and to change his mind, which I thought that was interesting. But yes, as far as like the environment goes, it was amazing. Like it was absolutely fantastic. Like Turning Point USA did such a good job with, setting up, and then the volunteers were absolutely amazing and they were so nice. Like, like it was cool. It was a great environment to be a part of.
So your job on the ground was getting interaction with Charlie or the audience?
Both. Yeah. So, so my job, at least for me, like I've done events many times. And so I want to get the atmosphere. I want to get like, even like a picture of a pride flag on a bike, like that kind of stuff.
Just candid shots.
Just candid stuff. And you know, it was great. And then obviously when Charlie showed up, we're on a time frame. Like he shows up, we've got like an itinerary to follow to a T. And so he'll take photos with the present chapter, or the chapter president the chapter president of the Turning Point chapter at that university. And then he'll do a group photo, and then it's off to doing something which he loves to do. And I could easily see why he loved it, but it's before every, I guess you can call it debate, because that's what it is. But before he started, he would grab hats, like MAGA hats, and just throw them to the crowd. And he got good at, like, he has a cannon. He
was accurate too.
Yeah.
I watched him throw hats, and like he would point at somebody and it was perfect.
Yeah. And he was like, and he had, you could see like that brought him so much joy.
There's always a smile on his face.
Always. And so capturing those photos were so cool. But like, just the way that he engaged with the crowd, and like you could tell that as he's doing so, he's soaking it in too. Like you can tell that he's like being reminded of like why he's doing what he's doing. And so yeah, that was really cool. Like there was times where I was, in that regards, I was like 2 feet, 3 feet away from him.
Okay, so if I'm Charlie Kirk on the day of,
yes,
where were you positioned? So I'm at here's his mic and he's speaking to the audience. Where are you?
So I mean, I try to get all the angles.
Okay, so you're roaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a certain part where they have cameras set up that they're like, hey, like, because I was like, I don't want to be in your shot. So where can I be? And they're like, yeah, just be around here or over there. And so like if you're speaking towards the crowd this way, I was like right here. Like,
so you're right off his left.
Off his left.
Okay.
Yeah. And at times I was about 5-6 feet away. But I was at that position for the first speaker the entire time. Okay. And so that's when the second speaker showed up. I decided, I'm going to get a new angle, new perspective. I want a better shot of the person speaking. And so I went behind the tent and got to his like far right, but he was like a little bit ahead of me. So just a little out of my peripheral.
Okay.
I was taking.
So you're technically like here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I like started to move in closer and closer because I just, again, different perspectives.
Yep.
And, so I was taking photos of the second person asking questions, and as I was doing so, because I'm dialed in, like I'm really focused. I'm like, honestly, like I'm so focused that I'm not even really paying attention to what Charlie's talking about.
Yeah, you're doing your job. You're not there to listen.
Exactly.
You're working. I get that.
So then, as I'm taking a photo and looking at like the photo I just took, I hear a loud bang. And it's crazy how your brain tries to rationalize things, because my first thought was firework. But I've been around firearms my entire life, and logic quickly set in, and it was like, no, Andrew, that was a gunshot.
Okay. You're standing off of Charlie's right shoulder-ish, that direction. I know there's a million things that have happened since.
Yes.
I have my conspiracy. Everybody has their shit. When you heard the crack, Did you immediately look in a direction?
Yes.
What direction was it?
So
where were you facing at this point? Just so I'm drawing this picture.
I'm facing the same way Charlie's facing.
Okay, so you're facing technically the shooter.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're facing the shooter. You hear a crack, the shot. Where did you look?
My right. But here's the reason why.
Which would have been the stairwell.
It would have been, but that was covered. Like security, like that's a thing. Like I was also with security when they were checking the rounds.
Okay.
Like beforehand, that whole side was covered. But because I saw, unfortunately, I didn't want to, but I mean, I talked to the witnesses there, and they had plenty of videos that aren't on, like that were closer. And after I saw the video, I was like, that's not from the right. It's 100% from the front. But where I was standing, I was underneath a covering.
Okay.
So the sound coming off the wall hit my right ear.
Okay.
That's how gunshots work.
Okay.
So it reverberated off, and I immediately went to my right, because that's just what it sounded like to me.
Okay.
But after watching a lot of the different videos, it was pretty plain to see that it was from the front.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So the shot goes off. What are you processing at this point? Are you watching Charlie go? Do you know that he's hit? You said you're looking kind of at your camera.
So I'm at the camera. I hear the shot, process that it was a gunshot.
Okay.
And then I look up and I just see panic, people dunking. And then I just look to my left, Charlie's down. And his security, I didn't see Charlie's body. I saw his security team pick him up and just book it.
That quick.
That quick.
That was a huge guest question. I probably had 15 of them. How quick did they get him off the X?
Oh man, a few seconds. They were immediate. They were on it.
Okay.
And then it was after that, I was processing and it's crazy how I thought this, but I was like, I'm in the line of fire because I was right there.
For sure.
I don't know where this guy's at. I don't know how many there are. So my immediate reaction was there was cars behind me. So I stopped and looked, and I saw a bunch of people. I started panicking inside, but then once I saw other people panic and start crying, I knew I was I can't do that. There has to be somebody that's calm, collected. And so I was telling people to come with me really quick, get behind cover. And I still had my camera in hand. But yeah, we were all down because we didn't know if the shooter was still active, if he was mowing other people down. And that was probably the most terrifying part of the whole thing is we
waiting.
Don't know.
For sure.
But fortunately, there was also police officers ahead of us. And first of all, thank you, first responders, because you guys are amazing. Because I could even see the look of fear and panic on cops. They don't know what's going on. And so... but again, they don't care. They answer the call, Mm-hmm. And so, there was some security there. Okay, at least we have, guys that are armed on our side. Right. And then I don't know, man, so this was also kind of a crazy part. So they immediately arrested a guy, and I had my camera.
80-year-old man.
80-year-old man, bald. And I had my camera and I just started taking photos.
Okay. This is my next question. After the shot, you process for a second, quick panic mode. Do you go back to photographing?
I only took photos of that particular thing for evidence purposes.
Okay.
I did not do any photos after the fact.
Okay.
I thought my immediate reaction was put your camera away, go check on people, make sure people are doing okay. Because that was my priority at that point. It wasn't, hey, I'm going to try to get photos for XYZ. There are people here that are not okay.
There's children there.
There's children.
There's women walking around with babies on their chests.
So I didn't even think about doing photos for that reason. I respect that. I just wanted people to make sure I just wanted to make sure people were okay.
Mm-hmm.
At that point. But once the cops said, hey, oh man, the cops showed up that's the thing that was so crazy. And this was actually not my first experience with, I got robbed at gunpoint when I was working at US Bank.
Okay.
And so maybe that's why I'm able to process everything a little bit better. But even then, the cops, first responders, they were there quickly. And so, yeah, police vehicles left and right were showing up, and the SWAT team showed up. And
how quick?
Oh man, if
you could put a time on, I know fog of war, shit's going crazy. Your mind's processing everything. What would be the time frame that you would think it was? They
10
were there.
minutes.
Okay,
if that.
I heard and I haven't seen, but they said that there was no ambulances there. Can you confirm that there was any first responders as far as that aspect of?
They had medics on site.
Okay, medics.
I can't recollect if there was actually ambulances on spot.
Okay.
A
lot of people claim that they didn't see any of that.
There was a ton of police vehicles there though. But yeah, from my recollection, I don't remember because I remember walking past tents where there were medics on staff in there. So, but I don't remember seeing, to my recollection, ambulances. So that wasn't even like on my mind.
No, for sure. I heard it was a bit like I heard all these people talking about it. I'm like, God, they wouldn't have any ambulances. So I wanted, obviously having boots on the ground. That was a question that people were asking me as well. Like, hey, find out if that was it. So Charlie goes down. Within seconds, he's off the X. They got him out of there. Then this old man stands up.
Which is crazy because, like, he was saying, shoot me. I did it. Like, I want to die. Like, and those weren't words that I heard. It was everybody around him that told me that. Because I talked to other witnesses because, obviously, I have pictures of the event. So, therefore, I'm like, I've got evidence, potential evidence, right? That's how I viewed my photos after that. And so, I went up to a police officer, and I was like, hey, like, I was a photographer here. Where do I go? Because I have potential evidence. Because that's all I could think about. I was like, I want to help.
Yeah.
And so he said, yeah, we're having people that saw stuff in this general area. And so I went over to make sure they were okay. And they were saying, yeah, that's the old guy that got arrested. And I was like looking through the photos. I was like, there's no way that was him. There's just like, that was my first reaction. Even like when I was taking the photos, I was like, I don't know. I highly doubt this guy did it.
Really?
Yeah.
Immediately.
It's
so strange to me because this is where we get in the rabbit holes, which I'm trying not to in this conversation because I have I've kept quiet for a week, gathering, watching, not trying to jump to anything because we all know how the internet works. We know how the knee-jerk reaction, and I hate the fact that all these people are like posting their own videos with like Charlie's voiceover, trying to like get clout from it. Drives me. It's disgusting to me. So I'm just watching, and one of the biggest things immediately that stood out to me was this old man, and the fact that he stood up and did this. For what? Why? Why in somebody's mind, when someone is just murdered, do you stand up? The only thing that my mind can think of is that that's a distraction. Who in their right mind stands up and tries to take the fall and make this huge scene? I did it. Shoot me. I mean, there's videos of him cuffed as they're dragging him under the tunnel where they took Charlie out, and he's yelling this.
So.
Make that make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but according to everybody that was around him, he was saying weird stuff the entire day. Like he was just kind of like the old senile guy, right? Like and looking through my photos, I did actually get a photo of him in the crowd. He's just eating a hot dog, just chilling. Like, but like also, I know you've been around firearms for a very long time. Mm-hmm. You can tell a 9mm versus a rifle, like for as far as the sound it makes.
For sure.
And I knew that wasn't a 9mm. And so that means he had to have a bigger gun, and there was nothing on him.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have time to put that away. Like there was nothing.
The second I heard, and the second this all unfolded,
right.
From obviously you're on the ground. I'm just watching this unfold. I don't even think it was aired on the news yet. And I told her it was suppressed and it came from the right side. I personally, to this day, don't think that he was shot in the front. And the reason I think that is because I have shot a lot of animals. I've spent a whole lifetime, 41 years of just putting things in the dirt. I use huge bullets. I use little bullets on whatever I'm using. My opinion on this, if you're going to take a round here, wasn't straight on, this jugular is what ripped out of him. Unless you can confirm otherwise, I personally feel there would have been a minimum baseball size hole on the back of his neck, especially if they're claiming a 30-06 from 200 yards.
Yeah.
That centrifugal force is going to take everything out the back. I've shot all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Head, neck shots, shoulder shots, everything. I told her before there was even any of this, I'm talking within minutes, suppressed rifle. I thought initially it came from the back just by the centrifugal force and watching. I've watched a lot of footage. I've watched a lot of people die in videos and gunshots. I'm one of those people. I analyze, I watch, I'll slow-mo it just to see how bodies react. And I'll show her all the time. Lights out. That dude's immediate. I can tell the second someone's lights are out in them. There was no doubt in my mind that Charlie was dead that day. Immediately. I will die on this hill that round came in here. And that was shrapnel. Shrapnel that came out here. And shrapnel that came out his shirt. Because when that centrifugal force hits you, it locked him in that push. You got to think of how fast even a 5.56 round's moving.
Yeah.
It's like getting hit with a cinder block. And that locked him. And then when he fell that way, I told her, he got shot from, I thought initially before I watched in slow mode and frame by framed it, I thought he got shot here.
That's where I was. So I'm just saying.
And I'm not, this is just, obviously I'm not there. And so this is where it's so crazy to me because you have a 30-06, which we haven't found any rounds. They didn't do the autopsy on him. Like nobody's seen anything of that yet. There's been no round found. The whole entire thing is built. They're doing the construction on the site of where Charlie was killed. It's already under construction within days. Huge red flags to me. If somebody of this stature of a political figure is murdered in front of thousands of people, like I feel like that whole stadium would be shut down for at least a week or two, doing this investigation, finding everything. Just a lot of weird shit to this. And this is where I want to have this conversation with you because it's like, I want answers, right? And I know a lot of people do, and I know you don't have them because this is just your point of view. So a lot of questions that people asked. Do you think there was more than one shot?
No.
Okay.
No, so they put us in a holding room, and that was one of the things that I kept thinking about. One shot.
What do you mean a holding room?
So like they had us like, not necessarily, so like, once SWAT was clearing the building, they had us basically in the dean's office. At least that's what it looked like to me.
Okay.
But they had myself and other cameramen and just other people that saw things in this room. And they wanted to wait until the whole university was cleared by SWAT before asking questions. And so as I'm sitting there going through my photos, I just kept thinking like, there's a few things I was thinking about, but one of them was just one shot.
Okay.
It was just one shot. Because if you look back on the assassination attempt with Trump, there was like 2 or 3.
Yes.
And that made me think, okay, this person has at least some experience with a rifle, which I've heard that that the person that they did apprehend did go hunting quite often. So I don't know. Like, I don't know as far as like.
I find it hard. That's one for me where I can't get down that one because unless they were robotic, like remote controlled, the fact that you're going to, with human error and delay, unless these dudes are the most trained assassins on the planet, to break a trigger at the exact same time, that to me, I'm like, okay, we're stretching there. Yeah. So how familiar, I mean, are you an avid shooter? Do you shoot guns? I mean, did you grow up in this world?
Yeah. I mean, I did firearms I did photos for a firearms store, Midstar Firearms in Middleton.
Okay.
I did photos for them quite often.
So you've been around a lot of firearms.
Yes. Yeah.
Knowing suppressed versus unsuppressed. Mm-hmm. Obviously, video distorts a lot with sound and all that stuff. To me, immediately I went suppressed.
Really?
How loud was it in there?
It was loud.
Okay.
I didn't think it was suppressed.
Okay.
Because I've like shot guns that are suppressed, and specifically bolt action rifles. Yeah. And there's like a dunk sound, like, but it's loud, but not like not like a gun if it wasn't silenced, if that would make sense.
Yeah.
And this to me sounded like just any other gun in a firing range.
Okay.
So
that
to me
that's a big one because to me, cannon it's going to be loud inside there, but on video it's like a tsh, and then you hear it.
Yeah, so it was loud.
Okay, that's another big question.
That's why I was like that wasn't a 9mm. Like I knew it was a bigger firearm
For sure.
So
once they have you in, okay, the shot goes off, everybody hits the ground. You're getting everybody off the scene. I mean, there's probably coming out of that tunnel. I've seen videos of them running out of that. There was a tunnel right behind them. Is that where you were?
Yeah.
Because there were some cars parked there, like SUVs. Okay, so you're right there. Right behind the booth. The booth would have been almost right in this angle.
It was,
right out and to your left. If you would have walked out of the tunnel, it's kind of right here. Correct? Okay. So you're right in this tunnel. People are flooding out.
That's where the guy was arrested, apprehended, the old senile man.
Oh, they brought him out. Okay.
Through that tunnel.
Okay. How long until FBI or law enforcement kind of grabbed you guys? Because people are obviously flooding and running every direction. It's pure chaos at this point.
Oh man! Like how quickly did they arrive?
Well, no. How quick did they get you guys and they start getting on the scene?
It was quick. Like they obviously like. I don't know the protocol in which they do things, especially this type of situation, but it seemed very fast in my mind.
Okay.
And like, again, credit to the first responders because they handled the whole situation so well, in my opinion, from where I could see. Especially not knowing if it was one shooter, two shooter, like they don't know. They don't know if this was, just, they don't know what type of gun it is. Like they don't know. They don't know where he's at. So the fact that they were still like, we're here to serve and protect.
For sure.
Like that was amazing. And
nobody likes the cops until they got to do their job. Then everybody's like, oh, look at, they're doing great. Yeah.
But no, they were absolutely amazing. And SWAT showed up and it looked like just a mini militia, which was really cool to see from my perspective. But they were ready to go and it was quick. Like, but yeah, people were in the hallways. There was one guy in particular, I'll never forget this. But this big dude just tatted up, looked really intimidating. Like I walked up to him because he had his phone and he's like, I got it on video. And I was like, hey. I'm like, calm down. And I look at him and we make eye contact. I'm like, are you okay? And he just breaks down. He goes, no, I'm not okay. And so I just gave him a hug because what else can you do?
Sure. Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where, I've, my work provides a trauma therapist for first responders. And so I immediately talked to him my first day and I'm not kidding you, man. Like I told some lieutenants and this trauma therapist and they turned pale when I told them that I was there. Like, and especially how close I was. And they're like, the amount of holy fucking shits that I got from people like that was basically their reaction. But he asked me if I had experienced something like this before and I told him I was robbed at gunpoint when I was working at US Bank. He's like, okay, so like there is something like this, not your first time in like technically a life or death situation. Mm-hmm. But I really do believe that like I'm able to be so composed because I believe personally that God wants me to tell this story. Which we definitely will talk later on this podcast, but like being able to, because my friends, they're like, dude, we were freaking out at home. Like, how are you doing? How are you so calm? How are you okay? Yeah. And I'm like, I think because I know people have been praying, I think God's really been protecting my heart and all of this and keeping me sustained so that I can have a voice and can talk about this without, I guess, hesitation.
Yeah, it's honestly... when my wife watched the video, the first shot, she's like, oh, and immediately she's like, what the fuck did I just watch? Yeah. And what her and I have talked about is I feel how our country feels right now of watching this man executed that we all know, love or hate. We all know him. We've watched him grow up into this political figure that he is. I feel where we are as a country right now and what everybody's feeling is what our law enforcement are dealing with day in and day out. Yeah. You just got a glimpse of what combat veterans have dealing with, what cops are dealing with our first responders and firefighters. And that's the trauma. We're feeling trauma right now. This country has a blanket of trauma on it, of PTSD, whatever you want to call it. We just watched the most documented execution of our lifetime and everybody's just like back to normal because we scroll and we're watching these Ukrainians and Russians blow each other up and throw grenades at each other and droning people. We've been so numb and just killed on the inside with just this, our social media and what these feeds are. And we just watch this happen in front of this man, and his wife and children are standing feet away, and nobody knows how to process this. Yeah. And it's a, I mean, the fact that it's just on every feed. You can't open anything without seeing this dude take a round to the throat.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. And so it's very interesting, man. I that's why I want to ask if you're good, because I know you're able to talk about it, and I'm glad that you're talking to somebody and obviously being able to talk on this show, because that's a lot. It's a heavy load, and there's thousands of people there that day that are sitting home right now, and they don't know how to process this. Right. And so it's scary just thinking about the children that were there, the families, the people that are just there just to support, and they believe that there's something great coming on, and they want to hear him talk about Christ and gun rights and whatever his topics were going to be asked that day. They just want to hear an open dialogue. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on any red flags that day? Was there anything that stood out to you that you were like,
yeah.
Really?
I had one thought. I don't want to admit this, but when I was walking, because like UVU, where we're at, I mean, we're just basically like a fish in a fishbowl. Like,
it was a perfect.
Everyone was elevated, and behind, so like above where Charlie Kirk was speaking was like this walkway, is like a bridge essentially, because there was a tunnel underneath. But I'm up there taking photos, and I had a thought, and the thought was the roofs. Like, no one's covering them.
So you saw nobody on the roofs.
We had people on roofs like that we thought like people could get to, but like even like further out, I was like, it was just a thought. And
you mean people as in just
the security?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So security, they were on like around. They weren't just like all around Charlie. They were spread out.
So you did see security on certain rooftops,
yes, yeah,
looking down into the bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like with where other people were. But because like in my mind, like this is just someone coming to a college campus. He's not running for Congress. He's not running for an elected position. He's literally just trying to have discourse with people and make them feel comfortable having discourse. And so the last thought I even had was someone coming up with a gun, even though I know Charlie's been very open about how many death threats that he gets. That was never really was an issue. I never really thought of that. Even coming to these events, I thought, okay, the worst that we'll probably get is people trying to like tear posters down. Like that was it. But yeah, I just had a split second thought. And another thing that really, the trauma therapist said, please don't play the what if game, because it's going to eat you up if you do.
For sure.
But I did have my drone with me, and the university did not give us the okay to use our drone, because I wanted a cool aerial shot of like the whole event.
Yeah.
And I had this split second, like I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. But then I was like, nah, I don't want to get Turning Point USA in trouble. Like I want to respect the rules. But I just keep thinking, if I had put up my drone, there is a good chance I would have caught him, or at least distracted him, something. And so that obviously isn't healthy to play that type of game, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, I feel like more could have been done, maybe not from Charlie's standpoint with security, but just, I don't know, like that's just one of those things I guess didn't think about as far as.
But hearing you say that there was security on the rooftops where other people were, how would they have not have picked up on this guy? Because he went through a first speaker. He was on his second speaker, correct?
Like just minutes in. Yeah.
Just started.
Yeah.
You would think like, unless this kid was laying up there hours prior.
Yeah. Somebody was, but that's the thing where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I will never know.
No.
And like, when it comes to like the conspiracy things, man, it's like, to me, I can say this. He was not wearing a vest. I was right there with him.
Charlie wasn't?
Charlie was not wearing a vest. He was wearing, like, the only thing he had underneath the shirt was a necklace. That was it.
A lot of people talked about this black thing moving across. That was a mic on his chest. Can you confirm what that was?
I didn't even see a mic on him. All I saw was just the necklace. Like there, I have because I did the photos. I edited the photos. You know, put a color on them, and like I went through each photo very like vigorously. Like he's just he was just wearing a shirt. That was it.
Because in the video you can see like a black square here. Which
Okay.
I would say.
Oh yeah, so that was for the that was for like the live stream and stuff like that. So
okay,
yeah,
okay. So he did that because the people were like, "Oh, the black thing moves across." And that's where I can't get into those. Like,
yeah, he was wearing a Rode mic.
Yeah, and that's what
Yeah.
And I figured when that force came through his body, threw it off.
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
centrifugal
Oh, absolutely.
force just popped. It's
Yeah.
just a magnet holding that on there.
Exactly.
It is. It's such a crazy thing to try to unfold. So, red flags. Thought you might. I mean, obviously that.
Yeah, but nothing else. I didn't have any other concerns. Everything was going status quo. Like everything, and this was my first event with them, so it's not like I have a experience prior to that from other events that they've done. But everything was going well. Like everything looked good. Security team was amazing. Like my heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of just amazing guys.
Yeah, and you never want to have a client go down. It's very unfortunate. So you can confirm. So this was one of my thoughts at first. Was me obviously immediate. The second I saw everything go down, I was like, I told her that's an exit wound. But what I was trying to make it make sense was I'm like, maybe he had, those thin ballistic shirts and maybe it hit and deflected. So you were just saying, you can confirm that he just had a normal shirt on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So I watched some guys, these snipers and military dudes, and they're all, he's got a vest on it, the round hit and deflect. I couldn't bite on that one. I was like, man, it just looks like a normal. Because maybe if it was a button up and you could tell he was a little bit thicker, like the presidents wear, they wear those thinner ballistic shirt. Everything's ballistic. I was like, okay, maybe we can stretch that one, but just a necklace under his shirt.
Because like people were giving him hugs like when they were doing photos with him prior, and it's a white shirt. It's pretty easy to see through, and so like it was just necklace.
So after the shot rings out, they got you. How long was it until they were investigating or asking you guys questions?
Oh man, being in that room felt like a long time.
Who did they have in there with you?
Just other some of the security teams, other Turning Point members, camera crew, other eyewitnesses, basically because they were gathering up the witnesses, and so they wanted to keep us safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kept us in this it was an area of the building where there was like a lot of like multiple rooms within this area, like but yeah, while just the SWAT team was clearing out. So but it felt like a long time, but I couldn't actually give you an exact estimate. Maybe 30-45 minutes.
What were some of the questions that they were asking you after everything went down?
So basically, like they had talked to other people. They never talked to me specifically at that time.
Okay.
They just said, if you saw anything that we don't already know, like come up to us. All I said, like, I have pictures. Like, cool. We'll definitely contact you. But you didn't see anything that like, I'm like, nah, this is where I was. Like, okay. So, but then like detectives later that day called me like, hey, like before you leave, can you come down to the station and, can we like download the photos? And I was like, yep, that's absolutely 100% okay with me. So, and those guys were phenomenal. Like those, they were saying very similar things like you, like they said under the Trump administration, they've been being, as far as like how they've been treated out in the public, way better than when Biden was in presidency.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, they've seen some stuff. And, in fact, one of the cops was like, I hate guns because I had to, unfortunately, kill someone like 5 feet in front of me. And that haunts me to this day. I'm like, that should, that should haunt you. That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we have to have them, but at home, he's like, yeah. So like, it's just hearing other cops' perspectives on things has been really interesting. But
Where was his wife and kids when this all went down?
So I didn't see him there.
Because everybody said they were there.
Everyone says that I never saw them. I feel like if I would have gotten a photo of them, just because that's what I do. I mean, like, that's a huge moment to get on camera. If they were there, then I just missed them. But in my mind, I thought I never saw them. So I can't confirm or deny that I didn't see them there. Even when, like, under the tunnel where Charlie, like, all of us, like, I think some of the oldest members of Turning Point were over there. And so I didn't see his wife. I didn't see kids, like his kids at least. And so, but I could have just missed him.
What a crazy,
Yeah.
absolutely horrific thing. This is,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, as awful as this is, there's been a lot of good that's come from it too already.
Give me examples.
So one of the things that I keep, and this is honestly the biggest thing that I keep thinking about, was probably 5 minutes before the incident happened. Charlie was talking to the first person asking questions, and they were talking about theology and just between the difference between the LDS Church and Protestants. And Charlie's like, listen, we're not going to agree, and that's okay. I still love you, but this is what I believe. And he said, Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins because he loves us. 3 days later, he rose up from the grave to defeat death, to defeat sin.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and at the end of the day, Jesus Christ is king. And I don't know off the top of my head, historically speaking, I don't know how many people on this earth can say that they were able to proclaim the gospel minutes before leaving this earth.
For sure.
But Charlie did.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I was like, yeah, he just preached that to thousands of people. But because of social media, that reach was probably hundreds of thousands of people.
Millions.
Exactly.
Millions.
And, you know, I get chills thinking about that. And one of the last photos that I took of Charlie, that I've only shown a handful of people, I actually sent a letter to his wife with this photo. But he has this huge grin on his face. Just like not just a smile, he's loving what he's doing. And when I first saw the photo, it broke me. Like, not out of like sadness, but just like I had this image of him seeing Jesus for the first time with that same smile, with that same joy, and Jesus coming up to him saying, hey, my child, like, you are home, and well done, my good and faithful servant, because you finished the race and you finished it strong.
Amen, huh?
And that just kind of left me with this question of what next? What do we do with this?
That's the biggest question.
Right.
And that's where I'm having the hardest time processing this, because we live in a world of just full of hate and evil.
Yeah.
And he was such an incredible person of bringing people to faith. And like I said earlier, even if you're not converting and you're not kneeling at the cross, he opened up the dialogue and made people think.
Yeah. And he made people bold.
He gave them a voice, and he drove people to start questioning. And okay, like, if I'm on this planet, what is my purpose? Why are we here?
Why do I believe what I believe? You know? Yeah.
And the fact that he was pulled from us, from being this disciple and being who he was, it's like, I want to be like, why? Right? Like, we can use him, especially in a time right now where it's just, everything is just so demonic and evil on everything, all the platforms, the games, the apps, everything that is being fed to our kids, our public schools. It's just pure evil. And he was this beacon of hope and light and change, and just an all around great. Take politics out of it.
Yeah. I mean,
he's gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, they killed this dude for whatever the reasons are. Whoever did it, right?
And that's why, to me, at the end of the day, the conspiracies don't matter, because we lost a life. That was the end result of it. We lost a life, a father, a husband, another believer. So the whole body, I believe, that's why we're so mourning, because this felt personal.
For sure. And the fact that people hated him so much because he talked about his beliefs,
which is wild to me, because like that's one of the best things about America is the fact that we're a huge melting pot, right? Like we have different cultures, we have different beliefs. No other country can really say that, because most other countries, they kind of, affirm to the same beliefs.
Buddhists, Muslims, whatever it may be.
America has just a crazy amount of different cultures and beliefs. And I know, like this again, I'm going to preach this, but Charlie wanted to not just make America better and safer by having these conversations. I know he truly, from the bottom of his heart, wanted people to know who Jesus was, because at the end of the day, that is what is the most important thing on this earth.
Yeah.
There was a video of him that I know has made its rounds for sure, about him being asked by another person at one of these events saying, hey, like if someone was dying in 30 seconds, what would you tell him? He's like, you're about to meet your maker. Like you're about to be judged. Like you are about to see God. And like, if you don't know Jesus Christ, like right now, like this would be the best time to do it. And so, that's just that's kind of been on my heart of like, what's next, because we're all human beings. And yes, obviously I'm a Christian, and I believe that we are made in the image of God. Therefore we have intrinsic value. We are worth everything because he gave it everything.
100%.
And so, therefore, I don't care if you are a believer or not, you matter. You're seen, you are loved. And being there and talking with the protesters, this is not, and I want to make this very clear because I know there's a lot of angry people, rightfully so, but it matters what you do in your anger. And this is not a left versus right situation. This is not a Republican versus Democrat issue. This is not a conservative versus liberal issue. This is a heart fundamental issue. We're sinful human beings in need of a savior, and that's why Jesus Christ died on the cross, man.
Good versus evil.
And so, like, in my opinion, what's next? Start treating each other like human beings that are worth it all because he gave it all. I think that is how we start mending this nation. And you don't have to preach the gospel necessarily. You can just view someone and say, hey, like, what's your story? But we have to be intentional with that, right? Like, we can't just, my pastor always says this: community is made, it's not found. You don't just happenstance by it, it's intentional. So if we want a healthy community, we have to be intentional with people, which means we have to get in their mess. We have to sit with them in their mess, help them process, help them feel seen, but also have that balance of truth and grace. And I think Charlie did that really, really well. He was the
best. He mastered that.
Yeah. That
you can bring complete opposite worlds and try to find common ground. And if he couldn't, it was okay. Yeah. And this is where we've gone so far as a nation, and we're so divided that we can't even sit down and have these conversations anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're nope, this is it. And I'm guilty of it in certain things.
Absolutely.
And I have my beliefs, and like, you're a Christian. This is a Christian home, and we are believers 100%. This is where, as a human, I'm like, okay, he was making such an impact. He was changing lives. He was saving lives. He was bringing people to the greatest story ever told. Why allow him to be taken at such a prime time? This is where, as a human being, right? The whys. And it's just like, if God had this, and this is where I'm being
be honest. I love it.
This is real.
Yeah.
It's just like, God, we could have used him. He was such a tool. I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah. Sorry.
You say it, and people listen. He was such an asset. He was such an incredible person. Not even in his beliefs. I'm at this phase in my life where there's no Democrat and Republicans. It's all one. Or just have two parties that are all just being paid to just fight each other.
Yeah.
He found this middle ground, and so that's where I can get behind him on everything. It wasn't, granted, his beliefs, just like us. And I tell people all the time, if I have to vote, I'm going to vote more right, just because that's where my political beliefs have to go, and my spiritual beliefs, my religious beliefs, like everything leans toward that. I don't believe in a lot that the left has, but I'm not saying the right is right.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
But where he was at with it was just spreading the word. And that's where it kills me. It's like he was saving. And you see these churches and they're talking about the next day. I mean, all these people, hundreds of people walking up and giving their lives to Christ.
People that haven't been to church in years or ever are saying,
reaching out,
are going, hey, like, I'm going to give this church thing a try. And not just church, but Christ. Like, Christ is knocking, like anybody watching this, Christ is gently knocking at the heart of the door of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wants that relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know, because life is hard. Like this last year for me has been one of the hardest years of my life. Like my birthday was September 9th, like the day before all this happened. Right. And so we're all going through really hard stuff.
Yeah.
And I want people to be curious about other people. Like ask them how they're doing. Not just like, hey, how's it going? Like truly compliment somebody on something. You have no idea what that will do. Just, I don't know, like just being kind. Like a good human being. Like you don't have to be a believer to do that.
No.
But just recognize that we're each humans, like each and every single one of us. And we all have a lot of stuff that we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Life is not easy. But I know that we're not only supposed to have a relationship with Christ. He made community for a reason, and we're supposed to do it together. So how do we do that on a gigantic scale like America, right? But yeah, just after my interactions with the protesters, I was like, man, those are awesome human beings, man. Like
they're just humans. They're fed a different algorithm.
Yeah. But like,
if you really think about it, if you really break down how scary it is, they live in a different algorithm. They're fed completely different stuff. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. Yeah. They have different beliefs. They're seeing different propaganda from whatever side it is. Yeah. And that's what they truly believe in. But it doesn't mean they're a horrible person. Now, if you're out there and you're burning stuff and you're torching cities and you're vandalizing, you're just doing that just to be able to get away with. I can't get behind that. But if you want to stand out somewhere and you want to voice your opinion on what you believe in, I fought for this country for that reason. Yeah. Protest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll drive by protest. I fought for that.
Yeah.
I, as a U.S. veteran, have no problem with anybody protesting anything. It's when it goes to the extreme or torching cars and cities and local businesses and costing your cities hundreds of millions of dollars. That's where I can't get behind that type of stuff. But the fact that you can go out and you're sitting here and like, yeah, I walked out and Charlie Kirk had a bunch of protesters and I went and talked to them and they're great people.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk was fighting for this, for like the ability for us to talk. Like think about all the podcasts that are out there right now. Like he fought for you guys.
Yeah.
Like he wanted everybody to know that they have the ability. Even Bernie Sanders, which I don't really agree with anything that he says, but he came out and he was like one of the few political people that didn't make it political. He even said that like, I don't agree with anything that Charlie Kirk says. However, we have a fundamental belief that the First Amendment should not be infringed. Like if our voice gets taken away, what do we have as a country? Nothing. And so the fact that Bernie was like, he was on board with what Charlie was doing as far as fighting for everyone's ability and freedom to have free speech says a lot. Like, and he got shot for it.
That's hardest part.
What's crazy to me.
That's the hardest part for me to process is that this man was killed for just opening up dialogue and speaking on his beliefs.
Yeah.
That we're here as a country, that we've been so divided, we've been so just overwhelmed with the hate and the evil and the propaganda and everything that our news and our media and everything that it's being fed.
Yeah.
Everything that is fed all day, every day, and these people, it consumes their life and it turns them to the point where you hate somebody so much for him just trying to bring people to Christ.
Yeah.
Trying to get you to learn how to think, that we're killing people over that now.
Yeah.
This is where it terrifies me for my children's future, because if we're here now, we're not getting any better. I don't see this country turning around anytime soon. As long as the mainstream media is controlled by who it's controlled by and they're able to operate the way that they are with just putting out just pure, just vile hate on everything and everything that's not on their agenda, we're always going to be divided when it comes down to our police, our military, where we spend our money, our tax, everything. I mean, we're fighting over everything. And we're in the streets protesting and beating people up now. I mean, you got people that are trying to tear down memorial services and these, what are these candlelight services, and they're going in there destroying shit.
Yeah.
Like
Evil.
we have that much hate in us. I don't know one person, and I would never associate one person if they would go out and conduct themselves like that.
Yeah.
It just, as an irrational mind, but we've driven, we've pushed and pushed and pushed. We're so divided where now it's like you hear somebody talking about, I love Bernie Sanders behind you. You're going to look at him and be like, oh, these fucking people. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was one.
Identity politics, man.
I was one.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, it's both sides.
Yeah.
There's no difference to me. No difference except for one. I heard a guy explain this the other day, and it was the most incredible way of explaining politics to me. He goes, imagine if you're in a restaurant and you have two waiters. You have a waiter, and your waiter's to serve you. And then there's another waiter serving another group of people over there. But both of those waiters are fighting each other to stop you from serving your food. Mm. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, would you ever go back to that restaurant if you had a waiter that's fighting against your waiter to bring you everything? And instead of bringing you your steak, he brings you a frozen hot dog. You're just going to accept it. It's like, that's where we're at as a country right now. We have two parties that are fighting each other over everything where nothing's being accomplished. And I'm like, that's exactly it. You see these people, oh, the left and blah, blah, these radical Republicans. And it's like, dude, we're no different. We're no different. We're fighting these extremes, except for we can't come together on a middle ground. There's nothing. Oh, there's one thing that's a middle ground. I won't get into that. But there's one thing that the left and right can decide on. Other than that, it doesn't matter. They hate each other so much. And I don't know if it's just this game, and this is the world that we're in now, that they're all sitting there laughing at us while we're fighting in the streets over kids being able to chemically castrate themselves, and so-and-so wants to date so-and-so and become this. And it's like we're killing each other in the streets,
right?
Because we're so divided. And it's like, how do we stop this? How do we just come together as a country and be like, man, this is the greatest country in the world. We have everything provided to us. I can go to the grocery store where my apples are put perfect in these little pyramid shapes, and I got produce dripping with fresh water misted on them. Like, we're fucking fighting in the streets. We have everything provided. You got internet, you got water.
We got it good.
I can walk in my house and flip a switch on, and I can turn on every light in my house by my phone.
Yeah.
And we're fighting in the streets. We're killing each other in the streets over politics. This is where Charlie was such a heavy hitter. He was such an asset for the world. Mm-hmm. They took him because of his beliefs. And I have such a hard time processing that. And it's not even just a hate or an anger. It's just like, God, man, we're here. It's more of like a scared feeling that we're at this point now where somebody that has that much power and they hate him that much, not about what he was saying, not how he was saying it, not what he was pushing, because people were listening and he had an impact, and that's why they killed him. It wasn't always against trans. It's because people were listening. Yeah.
I do think there needs to be a shift in our rhetoric when it comes to mainstream media, when it comes to even like how we handle things politically. Because when we start demonizing each other, that's how we're going to see each other, as demons. And like, again, like, I'm not a believer that the battle is flesh and bone. Like, it's spiritual.
Facts. Look at our schools. Look at everything.
Yeah.
And all spiritual.
And so if we can stop demonizing, and again, view each other as image bearers of Christ, I think that could be, again, you don't even have to believe in Jesus to just love someone else. If we start there, and I think how we do it is we start in our communities, which is why I'm so happy that I'm in the position that I'm in as a public information officer for Cannon County. Is like, I get to have the ability to talk with just normal people in a community and show them, hey, I'm here for you. What do you need? You know? But I think it starts at a small level and can work up.
I'm with you on it, but
it's just hard.
The problem there is people have their agendas.
Yes.
And we're so politically driven on everything now.
Everything.
from our curriculum in our schools to an everyday job.
Yeah.
People are being hired and fired for their political beliefs now. So it's like, even, are you correct? Yeah, 100%. We need to start in our communities. We need to start in our small towns and bringing people together. I remember as a kid, we had parades, community barbecues.
Oh man, those were the
4th of
best.
July was like the greatest
So
time.
good.
Everybody came. Dude, there's neighbors that have lived in this neighborhood, and I don't even know them. I got next door neighbors that won't even wave at you back.
They're not from Boise, man. I can tell you that.
I know where they're from.
Yeah.
We all know where they're from. But that's the frustrating part. It's like, hey, we're here. Like, we're neighbors, man. I got a backyard full of so much fruit or so many vegetables, we can't even keep up on it. I want to share them all.
Yeah.
I grow this garden and we can't even keep up on. I want to give them to. There's growing over my neighbor's fences where they're I see my tomato plants getting yanked down. I'm like, take all you want. I want to be able to give to the community, but you knock on a door now and they won't even answer.
Yeah.
We're so disconnected. Everybody, they've driven us to our own little bubbles, and it's so unfortunate because it's the last place we need to be. We need to be in the streets. I want our kids out playing. I want people looking out for each other. It's like, dude, I want to see yards full of bikes.
Yeah.
That's where we need to get back to. But everybody's just so buried.
Scrolling, man.
Everybody's
it's
just
so
buried in scrolling, and it's sad.
I know there's that, like, the saying, like, go touch grass. It's like, man, go out and love people. Like, just do that. Like, because I think the more that we're attached to our phones too, and that's a great point, we become socially disconnected from one another.
Yes.
Literally. Like, we don't view each other as humans. We view each other as a profile picture. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have worth.
Profile name.
Yeah, that's it, you know? And so if we, again, it just takes, it's hard to do that because, like you said, everybody wants to live in their bubble because it's comfortable. When you go out in the public, and again, this goes back to what Charlie was doing. He wanted to make those type of things a norm. Like, go out, talk to people, out to talk to people you don't agree with. Like, but because on the flip side of things, like on my way back to the Salt Lake City airport, my Uber, awesome human being. We didn't agree on much, honestly. I could tell, like, just some of the stuff that we were saying. But as we were talking, and I asked him questions, and I did tell him, like, where I was, and kind of, he's like, oh my gosh, type of a thing. Because he even said, like, I did not like a lot of the stuff he talked about, but he did not deserve to lose his life. But as we were talking, I was like, dude, I agree with that. Oh, you play that game? Me too. Like, just, and by the end of because I was in the car for about almost an hour because of all the traffic. So we had a lot of time to talk. Mm-hmm. And at the end of that conversation, he was like, dude, like, I really appreciate you. I was like, I really appreciate you. Like, we were able to find that we have a lot more in common than we do as far as disagreeing. And I think that's probably the majority of us in the United States.
But our media puts these topics that are so divided, right? Oh, kids can transform into whatever they want. There's a hard line, right? I'm just using this for an example. Totally. So now when we have this conversation, it's like, I can't agree with you. And you're going to be like, oh, you don't think kids should be. So that everything is so divided. And I'm one of those. Our media is our worst enemy in this country. Mainstream media, and unfortunately social media, by who it's run by, is the devil. Yeah. Like, and people laugh, oh yeah, okay. The hate. Instead of reporting the wins and what's going on in your community, and hey, such and such sports teams just I remember we would race home after football games. We'd all go to my buddy's parents' house, and they always cooked for us, and we'd turn on the news, and they would, here's the highlights from the games, and that was like everybody's watching.
Yeah. Now like high school games too.
High school.
Yeah.
That's where back and watch the there I am. Like, you were hoping for that little 2-second shot of catching a ball or tackle or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's just, you turn everything on and it's just Trump, left, right. And it's just, it wears on you, and it just chips and chips and chips. And so when they're the ones feeding this information, without guys like Charlie, it's like, where do we turn to next? That's the big question. Who's going to fill the shoes?
I don't think you can fill his shoes.
I don't think so either.
And that, again, like, that's where my fear is, because this is going to have a ripple effect, but it matters what you do in your anger. It matters. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, obviously people were talking about Ben Shapiro, and even Milo, who's made a little statement on X saying he might be coming out of retirement, and he has very conservative values. But, like, the thing is, not like, again, this always goes back to Charlie's core belief was, yes, he'll talk about politics. He'll talk to you about policy. He'll talk to you about hot button issues, but he did it with such grace, and truth, and that is what we need. And I don't know, like, but the thing is, like, I think Charlie even talked about this too, where he said if you get rid of one person, 10 more will show up. If you get rid of 10, 1,000 will show up. If you get 1,000, if you get rid of that 1,000, 100,000, like, it will just keep building. And I think that's probably one of also the coolest things that I've witnessed is no one is burning anything. No one is rioting. No one's looting. We're praying. Mm-hmm. You know, like, we're coming together. And I think that's really, really cool. And I believe, because I feel it for myself, like, this was a life-changing event for me. You know, like, for this country. Absolutely. But, like, being able to hear him in person, because my parents are like, why do you think God put you there? Why do you think God put you right there? And I was like, honestly, I don't know, but I really do believe the Holy Spirit is moving in a way in me that I've never felt before, and viewing people in ways that I've never seen before. And who knows what that'll turn into, but I'm not alone in feeling this way.
No, you're not.
And so I'm praying and hoping that this will be a wake-up call, maybe, you know, a spiritual awakening for a lot of Christians to come to the Lord, and
a lot of non-Christians.
A lot of non-Christians, yeah.
The wife, I think it was last night or the night before, she has a woman that we know, and she reached out, and she's like, why am I feeling what I'm feeling right now?
Yeah.
What is this? Yeah. And my wife spent all night talking to her, and my wife's in tears, just going back and forth, because she's on fire. She's not a Christian, doesn't go to church, just an everyday American that lives her life and just left alone. And now she has this call. She has this feeling. Yeah. And this is where people need to pray. Mm. Prayer, to me,
shouldn't be a last resort. Should be the first thing we do, man.
It's the hardest thing we do.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
For me. We're laying in bed last night, and I'm laying there, and I got all this just it's building, right? It's building. I'm laying there, I'm like, I have to pray. And I bawled my eyes out in this prayer. And my wife says it the best. She's like, you just leave a voicemail for God. That's how I pray. Because there's so many people, nobody teaches you how to pray. Yeah. Right? At least I've never been taught. My dad's a pastor. I'm a pastor's kid. I've listened to him talk, and I always listen to my dad talk. I'm like, how the fuck does this dude know what to say? He'll just ramble on. 20-minute prayer. I'm always like, how does he know? But then I have other people reach out and they're like, what do you pray about? I'm like, I don't know what I pray about. It's more of a conversation. When I tell people, and I have buddies that they're reaching out too, and so I fell away from my faith for a long time. Raised a pastor's kid, joined the military, traveled the world, saw the pure evil out there. I was like, nah, God doesn't exist. God doesn't exist.
There's no way, right?
I have looked evil in its eyes. God does not exist. Yeah. He wouldn't allow this to happen. I wouldn't have walked in these. I wouldn't have seen the shit that I've seen if God exists. And it took my wife years of chip and bring me back. And so now it's like, okay, I'm back in it. Mm. But the hardest thing for me has been praying. Yeah. But it's the most incredible thing.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How's your relationship with your father?
Ooh, that's a great question. It's been incredible my whole life until recently. Mm. My parents lost my brother 5 years ago. Lots changed for them.
Yeah.
My dad claims I was 17, I switched. Something turned on as soon as once I fixated on that, everything changed. But I feel that's the majority of teenage boys. That's a phase we all go through. But then instead of me staying around and getting through that phase with my parents and then building that relationship, I went straight to war.
Yeah.
And then I fell away from them. We had our differences. I ended up getting a divorce. They didn't believe in it, all that. But I've always had it, like, growing up wise, great, incredible. Yeah. My dad sacrificed everything for us. Like, I have great parents.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, I mean, we've always, we're not super tight. We're not just that, we don't talk, right? Like, we're not like a text everyday family. I'm not sending them memes and this and that. When I say hardcore Christians,
they don't drink. They don't.
Oh, I think I've seen my dad take one sip of an alcoholic beverage, and that was on my sister's wedding.
Gotcha.
No smoking, no drinking, no cussing, hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore. And for me, I'm one of those people, the more you push, the more I'm going the opposite direction.
Right.
But I get where my dad's coming from. He's terrified. He sees where the world's at. He sees his son. He lost a son. My brother was in his faith, was a believer until he took his last breath.
Mm.
I held his feet when my brother took his last breath. And he was a believer.
Mm.
So I see that, right? Like, fuck, I can't believe I'm even crying on this show. I could watch my brother dying of cancer for years and believed. And here I am like, nah, God doesn't exist. Like, I've seen evil. I've looked it in the eyes.
Yeah.
And I go see my brother and he's like, you got to pray.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like, that's why watching my family, watching my parents be able to keep things together, lose a son, their baby, and then just to watch him rot away to nothing, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
What that does, you know?
The reason why I ask is because how I pray, I view him as my father, as someone that I can run to any time I want. And I heard this not too long ago, man. The Christian life is the prodigal son story told over and over and over again, where you think you've done too much, you're too jaded, you've pissed away all your money, all your inheritance, made your family name look bad, and all you want is just to be like, man, I'll be lucky to even like serve at my parents' house. And you walk up to the house and he's waiting for you, just like, man, come here, like, I love you, like, you are my son, and no one's gonna take that away from you. You are mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that mindset and that truth, for me, it's like, all right, I can fail 7 times, but he's gonna pick me up so many more times.
Yep.
And thank you so much for sharing that, by the way.
Yeah.
I know that's not easy, but
You're the first one.
Yeah.
Congrats. I've fought in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man. Prayer's it's a powerful thing. Like last night, dude, I pray for my kids. I pray for my daughter's future husbands. Pray for everything.
Yeah.
And then when I'm done, like I sit up and it's just like, whoa, like this weight just gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain it. And that's why I tell
scripture,
people.
bro. That is scripture. He says, come to me, all who are weary, I give you strength. You know, like his yoke is light.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he will take that from you, man. Like it's just, that's why I love scripture, because it is alive. And yes, I hate reading, honestly. Like there's some books I absolutely love, but man, like my boss actually was like, cause my Bible, the one I've been reading for years, it's a study Bible and it's thick and it's just like, I get so distracted by the footnotes sometimes. And my boss like, dude, just get a normal Bible without the footnotes and just read it and let the Holy Spirit do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing that and it was a game changer, man. Like I've read something like 100 times, but without the footnotes and just like, all right, Holy Spirit, like lead me through this. There's stuff that I've read 100 times that just hit me in a way that I've never even read it before. And so like just reading, I just got done reading Genesis about a month ago, and oh man, just like you see God's heart immediately, where his heart, call this the 3 R's. I literally thought about this like last week, but God's heart is for reconciliation, redemption, and restoration. And you see that throughout the Bible, from the beginning all the way till Revelations. Like you see, obviously the perfect example is Jesus on the cross, bringing us back to the Father. But like, anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. Lost train of thought, but
It was prayer, but
yeah. Anyway,
you're right, man. Yeah. It's insane, and it's when you really start just the dialogue, right? Just the conversation with God, just asking questions. Yeah. That's it. When you're in your car, ask a question.
Yeah, and like I think too, at least for me, when I really am spending time with God, like he starts basically giving me his heart. So the way that I view people or used to view people, when I'm spending time with the Lord, he's like, no, this is how you're supposed to view them. This is how you're supposed to treat them. And it changes everything.
I was so full of hate, and God, man, I was still am better, hateful asshole for a long time. I carried a lot. Yeah. I have carried a lot, but every time you talk and pray and just conversate, just talking with my wife and just having the conversation, it's a little bit. Yeah. It just chips and chips and chips. I know she's probably
an awesome wife, by the way.
She is. I know she's probably prayed for since the day she was saved to just soften my heart, and that it's happening because I look at my mindset. I'm far from perfect. I know I am far from perfect. Yeah. But I see the work. I see the change. I'm like, okay. And this is how I look at it. I'm like, okay, if I believe in this man that sent his son down to be sacrificed for us all to believe and to follow and to lead us all into heaven, and I just have to truly believe in my heart that this dude did all this God provided all this for us, and I get to live this eternal life with him, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Nah, I mean, Charlie Kirk said it best. He said, all death does to a believer is reunite him with Christ.
Mm-hmm. I think that was one of the things I said. I was like, damn, dude, he gets to walk with Christ now. Yeah. As soon as they're like, he's dead, I'm like, he's with Christ. A lucky son of a gun.
Yeah.
Where people are, I mean, obviously we're mourning and people are crying and they're upset. I'm like, how lucky.
Yeah, that means we just got more work to do, man.
How lucky.
Charlie did his part.
Done.
Right?
Yeah. You know, there is a light in all this. And
there is.
How many people are these churches are talking about how many people are walking up and the revival and the fire I hope there's a fire that sweeps this country and this world and just starts turning people toward it. Maybe this is it. Maybe who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what the point of Charlie's murder was, and I don't know God's plan, and I don't think we ever will. And it could be these little fires. It could be one of my buddies that listens to this, or a listener.
Yeah.
I was literally on the phone as you're pulling up with a buddy. He's like, I can't believe you're talking to me right now. I'm like, bro, what? He's like, dude, you're talking to a dude that was there, and I'm like, he's just a guy, man. Like, he's just a guy.
I'm just a guy. Honestly,
that's how I am. Yeah. I'm like, dude, he's just a guy. We're just gonna have a conversation. He's like, bro, he's just, oh my God, man, I can't believe what you're doing. I listen to every one of your shows. I'm like, well, thanks. And I've known that he's a kid. I've known this. He has a family, and he started. You know, I've watched him grow as this young college kid into this young, incredible young father and husband. And you know, the fact that he calls, and I don't even know where I was going. But take a guy like him, he could listen to this and see my vulnerability and see yours, and just two men talking about Christ and whatever may lead. Dude, go have the conversation.
Absolutely.
It'll change. This is coming from somebody that has fought the world on everything. Just have the conversation.
Yeah.
Just pray. That's it. It'll help.
Yeah. Because you're loved. You're seen.
Truly.
And you are worthy of that love.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe it took you. I don't even know you. We've never even had a conversation before. I don't know one thing about you except for you know a couple of dudes that I've had on the podcast. Yeah. And here you are.
Also, I had so Laura Bolton was my teacher at Centennial. I literally had dinner with her with my ex last year with her and her husband.
She is crazy then as she is now.
I'm going to tell you a story.
I love her, but I
was a junior in high school when I had her for math. This is off. This really happened. So again, immature high school students, right? In math class right after lunch. I can't believe it. Okay, so my friend Austin, the room had like a funny smell to it, and I think one guy was like, or I think it was a girl who said like, it smells funny in here, and Austin was like, well, you probably should close your legs. And then Laura heard that, and she goes, Austin, why don't you shut your legs, because you know no girl's ever going to come between them. And the whole class was just like, what did she just say? I'm in the back laughing so hard because I was like, you deserve that. That was great.
Yeah.
Boom roasted. Like, come on. But Laura, again, awesome human being, sees people for who they are, and that got her in trouble.
Yep.
Um,
She's fascinating, man.
she's an amazing human being.
Oh, her dates
yeah.
and the timestamps and
Insane,
the information that she holds.
Yeah.
Having the conversation with her, I'm like, I don't even know what country I was in half the time when I was deployed. I couldn't even tell you where we were. And she's like, oh, in 2012, so and so did this at this time.
She'll
And
say it's her Asian genes. Her Asian
Yeah.
genes, man. Remember everything. But
Yeah.
she's amazing woman. Amazing woman.
man,
Yeah.
who would have thought some random ass dude sending me a message want to talk about Charlie Kirk getting shot would have led to this? All right, love. What questions you got?
So the first question is for Andrew, and it's a Charlie question,
Okay.
and it's what did the trauma? How did you handle seeing that trauma in real life?
I mean, looking back at it now, it seemed like a blur. Like, even now, it's like, did that really happen? Monday, it was like, Sunday and Monday were hard days for me. Sunday, I was pretty angry. Like, not at anyone in particular. I was just angry.
Just in general, they killed a man.
Yeah, and then Monday, there was a couple panic attacks that I had, and I haven't had a panic attack in a while, like in a long time. I got through it, but it was one of those. My body saying, "Hey, talk to somebody." So I did. But honestly, and I'm not kidding when I say this, like, the reason why I can have these conversations is because I do believe God is sustaining me and like, hey man, like, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like, you can have these conversations. And so as far as the trauma, I think that's going to be something I might have with, my entire life, but it hasn't affected me as much as I thought it would. Like, I'm using it because I know God's going to use it for good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, buying into it. Like, I'm not running from it. I'm not trying to cope unhealthy. I'm not doing any sort of substances at all. I'm just like, I'm sitting with it.
Yeah.
Like, again, like this last year, a lot of just awful, crazy stuff has happened in my life. And I think maybe that was God preparing my heart for, like, get ready.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just, I know God is there because he has been there for me in my entire life. Like, I can look back and this last year even, and I can see his fingerprints everywhere. And so I think God is just sustaining me and he's building me up, and I'm able to just be strong. Not saying like I haven't, cried or, been in tears, because I have, but it's just not running away from it. It's, I actually heard this the other day too. When we have storms in our lives, our knee-jerk reaction is to run. Like, we don't want to deal with that because it's uncomfortable, it's scary, it's hard. When buffaloes see a storm, they actually run towards it because you get through it the quickest if you run towards a storm. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to sit in it. I'm going to process it. I'm not going to run from it. And I have a lot of people praying for me too. A lot of people. So I think that's kind of how I've been handling in dealing with the trauma.
What else you got, my love?
Next question is for you.
For me?
Yep.
Oh God, here we go.
They want to know why you struggle with your belief and how you get through it.
Why I struggle with my belief and how I get through it. I feel the reason I struggle with my belief with Christ is because of I'm not fully educated and I have questions.
Yeah.
Which leads to doubt. Do I question that God died on the cross? No. 100% did. Do I question that he walked this earth and the stories are true and the scriptures that were written about him are true and that it's the most documented, sold book in the world and we're most hated man ever, most talked about man? 100% believe in all of it. I don't know enough to sit and be able to I'll fight somebody over it. I'm that much of a believer, but I don't know the details.
I am so happy that you doubt. And that's probably kind of a weird thing to say, but like, doubt is a sign and evidence of faith. Because if you're just like happy-go-lucky, like and nothing really challenge it, like, I don't know if that's real faith. You like, wrestling with God is good. He's big enough to handle it. He like, again, like, to me, like, as a father figure, like, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
And So if I have doubts, if I have concerns, like you have children, like how many times are they've been like, disobedient and questioning, like, but like at the end of the day, you're their father. They trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And so doubting is normal. And I think maybe in the Christian culture, we've made doubting look bad in a way, but like, it's good. It's you're wrestling with God, and it forces you honestly to dive in deeper. So be curious, like get to know the Holy Spirit, like recognize his voice, which it sounds like you do.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, but I'm sure with all the things that you've seen in your life and the things that you've experienced, the crazy thing is, what evil looks like.
For sure.
And if the evil's real, that means there's got to be a good, right?
100%.
Like, so
there's no, that's where when people talk, I'm like,
Yeah.
do you believe in hell? Yeah, but I don't believe in heaven. How do we have a heaven without a hell? How do you have good without evil?
I mean, nothing can be created out of nothing, or something can't be created out of nothing. It just can't happen, but no, I'm happy that you wrestle with your faith. I'm happy that you struggle with it, because that means it's real. It's alive. That means the Holy Spirit is working in you, man. Like, that's a good thing. Embrace it.
I can't believe we're having this conversation like that. It's gone to this. I love it.
Yeah.
I
was praying for it, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. So yeah, this is wild chaos.
Yeah.
Like I don't script shit.
Good.
We sit and we have real honest conversations, and this is what I love. What was the second part of that question? This is what I love, man. This
The
is
second part is for those struggling and feeling the call. That's what they call it, the call. What is your advice? They want to hear it from you, and they want to hear it from your guests.
man, if you're struggling, my advice, it goes back to prayer.
Mhm.
Open a Bible, which I'm guilty of not doing. I'm not going to sit here and say read, because that's my biggest battle. I'm like, I need a kid's Bible that has pictures. I can draw crayons in.
Have those.
Yeah, that's what I need. It's because I start reading and I'm like, what in the fuck are these dudes saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. I have such a hard time processing it. So that's where we actually just had this conversation. I'm like, I need Barney style, where I could put it on an audiobook where it's reading to me and I can follow along, where I can ask questions. Like, that's how I learn. So for me to just open up, but then again, at the same time, I've never sat down, and I'll admit this. I have never sat, and I had a buddy of mine, Victor. He's actually fucking retired gangbanger, did 10 years in prison. He was crazy dude. He was on the show. Incredible dude.
Is he like full tatted?
Yeah.
Is it the same guy I'm thinking of?
There's probably not too many giant Mexican Victors that.
Oh, okay. Who was different guy. Sorry.
Okay.
I was thinking of another guy that's pretty big on social media, but
He says when he sits down, and this is what I haven't done yet, and I'm guilty of this, is I don't sit, and he says he prays first. God, give me strength, give me wisdom, educate me, and he'll just open the Bible.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm guilty of not doing that yet, so I can't be like, oh, this is how it helps me, So I would love to hear your side for people that are questioning their faith, or questioning just.
They're feeling the call.
You're feeling, everybody I feel is feeling a call right now in this nation.
Yeah.
You're feeling something, and you saw what this man died for, believing in. If you're that true of a believer that he died for it, there's something behind it, and you can't deny this. So for people listening that have this call and this urge, I mean, how do we pull people, and how do we drive people in the right direction toward their faith?
I would say recognize that call and ask yourself, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I just cannot stop thinking about? Then I would ask yourself, okay, how can I use this? I'll go the secular route. You could say, how can I use this to benefit the community? How can I benefit this to bless other people, right? But God puts things on your heart, not just to bless people, but to glorify him. And so I love what you said. Prayer is huge. Prayer is absolutely we have the ability to talk to the creator of the universe. That's amazing to me. But from that, because here's the other side of things where people I don't, sorry, my phone's going off. The other side of things where people are like, I don't hear God. Like, I pray and pray, but I don't hear anything. Well, scripture says that the word is active and alive. Read your Bible. Read your Bible, because there are stories in there that just blow you away, but also you get to see God's heart from the very beginning all the way to the very end. It's all about reconciliation, us to him. And it's crazy because he came to us. We didn't have to do anything. Like he came to us. And so he's desiring a relationship with each and every single one of us. And again, sometimes it might take something so tragic like Charlie Kirk's death.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a whisper. It's a gentle knock on your heart. But answer it. Answer it. Don't just ponder, like answer it. Because like in your relationship, if it's just one-sided, it's not a relationship. You have to do your part too, right? So be curious, answer the call, answer that knock on the door, but yeah, get into your word, like pray with people. Also, and I will say this too, because this is huge, get into community. Like go to a church, get into a Bible study, get in a men's group, get in a women's group. Like surround yourself with like-minded Christians, because when the world gets hard and your life goes south, you have people that will be there for you, that will encourage you, that will uplift you. And also because I'm so bad at this, I'm very hard on myself. The enemy will tell me lies. And if I'm not in my word and if I'm not around people to encourage me, I will believe those lies. Yes. And then I just get depressed and I doubt. And having like-minded believers are there to not just keep you accountable, but to remind you of God's word. Mm-hmm. That's what, like, why we have community. We're not meant to do this world alone, at all. We need each other.
100%.
And so again, that goes back to like the bigger scope of things about how do we heal as a nation. But yeah, I would say, sorry, this is a very long-winded answer, but yeah, like those things, pray, read your Bible, get in a community of like-minded Christians and answer the call.
I think my biggest thing on like a new Christian, baby Christian, the worst thing is these angelic, what is the word I'm looking for?
I can't say the word right now either. Evangelical.
The ones that are screaming from the rooftops.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel that I look at them and I'm like,
yeah. It's a turnoff. It's a good.
But that's the extreme.
Yeah.
And so when you see these people in the corners, you're burning in hell if you don't repent and all this kind of stuff, I don't want people thinking that's like, those are Christians. They are. They claim that, and I'm not throwing shade, but that's not my type of people. I want this is, and I feel most people, especially men and women listening, like, just have a conversation. It starts with a conversation.
Can I quickly share a story?
Sure.
It's about my pastor and his wife.
What church do you go to, by the way?
It's called True Hope, Collister.
Okay.
And he's gotten flack for this, which is crazy to me. But so Matt, that's his name, and his wife's name is Andrea, and like my favorite human beings ever. They're amazing. But they live next to a same-sex couple for years.
Okay.
And they would always have dinner with each other and have like little cookouts and stuff. And Matt's wife, Andrea, told me the story. And one day, like, they were in the kitchen at this couple's house, and one of them goes, "So what does Matt do again? Isn't he like in IT or something like that?" And she like looks at him and goes, "No, he's a pastor." And just like the awkwardness, the like, there's like this awkward silence. And Andrew was like, "Can we still be friends? Like, we love you guys." And his response was, "Well, we know how you view like same-sex relationships." She goes, "That doesn't mean I don't love you." And because they were able to build a really good relationship because they were intentional, they loved them where they were at. That couple gave permission to have them speak life into them when things get hard. And so I would say, like, it starts with, again, being willing to sit in someone's shit and to be there for them and to love them where they're at, to be intentional and like do life with them. I think that's huge.
That's where I have a problem with Christians. I'm not trying to throw my parents under the bus. They don't listen to my podcast.
Just the legalism. There's a lot of legality with
not even it's, but us as Christians, and I'm supposed to be on this path, right? And I'm supposed to be bringing as many people. And I think Charlie says it the most. His job is to bring as many people with him.
Yeah.
As a pastor, how am I supposed to look at this pastor if he's going to shun a same-sex marriage couple living next to him? I'm not saying they need to be besties and they support that.
Yeah.
But you never know what impact him and his wife of just a general
Exactly.
conversation. So we might not come to agreements on certain topics, but that doesn't mean I can't share my faith. And it doesn't mean that they might not see where I've come from and what I've been through and be like, damn, dude, it changed this dude around.
Yeah. We plant the seed. God's going to do the rest, man.
It's not condoning same sex. It's loving the sinners.
Yeah.
Because that's what Jesus did.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He's washing the feet, right? I mean,
Washing your feet.
this is where also with Christianity, and this is where some of my doubt comes into, is where Christians are the most judgmental, just for everything that's not in align with them as far as the radical side. And this is where I have a hard time trying to associate with other Christians. Where I'm at in my faith right now is because I don't have a problem with certain people. Like my parents, there's no way if my parents, if I brought a gay friend to their home, oh my God, I would never hear the end.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
But then I look at them and I'm like, okay, well, you're screaming from the rooftops that I need to be saved and I need to do this and this and this and this. But what if this gay friend of mine, just using an example, I brought, then he sees who I am. He sees my family. He sees the life that my children, my family, everybody we have here because of how we worship Christ. Maybe he starts thinking this. Maybe he's in the porn. Maybe we're all sinners, right?
Absolutely.
Just because you're being gay isn't any different than any other sin. That's just the sin. There's not like, I'll put pedophiles on a higher sin level, but sin's sin, right? And at the end of the day, sin is sin.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But how am I going to sit here and not associate with somebody because of their beliefs and is not the same as mine as a Christian, that I can't associate with them? So I respect your pastor for doing that. And I get the grief that he's getting because my parents would be those people. We're not going to go to church here anymore because they're sinning. The pastor's sinning by having this relationship. And that's where I look and I'm like, I can't jump on board with your beliefs because as this young baby Christian, and I'm falling back into this and I'm learning all this stuff over again, I'm told that I need to talk and have this conversation, which is a huge thing Charlie preached.
Absolutely. And like the cool thing is too, because you'll have people on the flip side go, well, Jesus told people to stop sinning all the time. It's like, you're not wrong. But let's bring up the woman at the well example. What did he do before he told her to stop sinning? He made sure she knew that he intimately knew her. And he said, hey, like, you're right. You don't have a husband. You've got 4. And the fact she's like, wait, what? Like, you know me that intimately. And the conversation that he had with her was very intimate. But like Jesus, again, we're not Jesus. We don't know everybody. We don't know what people are going through, which is why we need to be intentional with people. Be curious. So that way they give us access to their life so we can speak truth to them. So that way we can give them, hey, like, I've got a true hope that I get to have every single day because he's alive and he saved me. And it's a hope that is eternal. It's not just a momentary hope. It's not a momentary fix. It's an everlasting, eternal love and hope that I have because of Jesus. And it's just like, and when you have that connection with people, they'll listen because they're going to want what you have.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. What else you got, my love? Any more questions from the listeners?
Did you ever meet Charlie?
This is a funny story. He talked to me for like 3 seconds. And because, like I said, when he showed up, he's on a time crunch. Like everything is go, go, go. And so this was totally, I think, because I was kind of fangirling just a little bit. So he takes a photo with the president of the chapter. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, 1, 2, 3, click. And he's like, yeah, we got to go faster. I was like, all right, sounds good. That was literally our only like really big interaction. Because after that was him taking photos with the group and then him taking the time to take photos with each of them, like on their phones and selfies and all that kind of stuff. And then it was straight to throwing hats, you know? So like that was my only interaction with him. But even like just, again, being around him, talking to people too that have known him for years and like listening to their stories about him and the friendship that they had. And, like he was as genuine as they come. And like I said,
hearing that.
Yeah, it was an honor just to do photos. And honestly, so that was, I haven't shared any photos I haven't posted on social media because they're technically they're Turning Point USAs, and I want them to do with them as they will. You know, I want them to use them for whatever reason they want. But I was terrified of what they thought of the photos, because at the end of the day, photos, like photography is art, right? Not everybody likes the same art. But I was like, God, please, like, I want this to be good. Like, I want them to be proud of these photos. I want them to like it. And I got a message back from them saying, like, these are phenomenal. And so,
good.
Oh man, I was stressing so much about that. But yeah. But yeah, that was my only really interaction with Charlie. And I was like, oh, you're right. Okay.
He's a machine,
yeah,
man.
like gotta go faster. I was like, all right.
Turning and burning. Yeah.
That's all I have. Do you have anything left on your phone?
I don't. A lot of them were repeats. A lot of people had the same questions, red flags and that type of stuff, the second shots, and there's just so many conspiracies. Well, I guess we could wrap this up, dude. Okay, so here's my last thing for you. Since the whole world felt this shot and are feeling this pull, and our country and the world is in this weird position, what would be your advice, and where would you lead people to go moving forward?
I'd say, at the very least, treat human beings like human beings. Again, I'm not coming from a religious standpoint. Like, I've obviously shared how I feel about that, but we're each human being. We're living this life. Life is hard. It can be awful at times, and you never know what someone is going through. So just be kind. Go out of your way to do something nice. Love people. Give someone a compliment. But seriously, like, at the end of the day, like, our money isn't gonna follow us when in our gravestone. Like, we're not gonna, like, we're in this huge boat together, right? Like, so let's work together. Let's put aside our differences. Recognize we have differences, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But, like, love one another. Like, the best thing I could say is give everyone a Christ-like love, which means, in my opinion, there has to be a balance of grace and there has to be a balance of truth, because that's what Jesus did. You can't, if you give someone just too much grace, or, you know, I think eventually that means you'll be lying to them.
Yeah.
And if you're just truthful all the time, you're going to hurt people. So having that balance of, hey, I see you, I love you, while still providing truth is huge. But there is like a finesse and a way to do that, I believe. But at the end of the day, just treat human beings like they have intrinsic worth and value, because we all do. And I think that could be just a little start of how we can get back together. Because I do believe America is the greatest nation on this planet. But also at the worldwide level, like, everybody is a human being, and everybody is worthy of love. They're seen. There's, I mean, I think that's what everybody craves. I think everybody at a human level wants to be loved. They're grasping for anything to fill that hole, to feel loved, to feel whole, to feel connected. And that's what I love about Jesus, is he gives us all of that. And more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, more than you can ever imagine.
So that's what I would say.
I love it, dude.
Love people.
I've never asked before. You want to finish with a prayer?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity for Bam and I to come together to discuss the tragedy with Charlie Kirk, but also just be able to have great conversations that glorify you, Lord. I pray that this conversation is fruitful. I pray that it helps people to ask questions and be curious. And I pray that it does help lead people to you. I pray that, you know, this is a nation that obviously is very divided, but I pray that we can come together and realize that we have a lot more in common than we do differences. God, you are amazing. Thank you for dying for us. Thank you for loving us unconditionally and being a constant and faithful God, even when we're not. You're amazing, and we just love you and pray this in your holy, holy, holy name. Amen.
Amen, dude.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for the DM.
Yeah, man.
Who would have thought? Some random ass dude shooting me a DM rather than me crying for the first. Just rotate it. There you go. That was incredible.